Well,
cold here.
Yeah.
All right, we are set for our main event of the evening. And I'll tell you what, I've called this guy's fights in different organizations throughout the years. And Curtis Millender is set to fight, as we said in the open of the show, on his home ice, on his home field advantage, in his backyard, as Curtis Millender has been in this building, in the hangar, 9 different times in his combat career. So our tale of the tape for our main event of the evening. 35-year-old Curtis Millender taking on the Hawaiian from the Big Island, Kealia Kanakua. And he has been in Scottsdale, Arizona, actually working at a gym right up the street from me, Benny, at a UFC gym, also in a camp with Henry Cejudo. He's ready to bring it tonight. This is our main event, and here is Big Mo.
Costa Mesa, it is now time for the main event of the evening. Scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds in the Cruiserweight division under BYB Trigon Combat Rules. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. Please welcome to the Trigon, Kealia Kanakua.
Fun talking to Kanakua yesterday. Born in Honolulu, spent time in Puna, Hawaii, now lives in Scottsdale, Arizona. Trains his striking with Eddie Cha, who's one of the best in the business. Eddie not here in attendance tonight as he's getting Triple C and some of the other members of Kanakua's team ready for fights forthcoming. He has power, he has strength, he brings volume, and Benny said he's going to counter with his reach, and he's going to look for the opportunity to utilize that long frame against Millender.
Yeah, but the problem with Millender is going to have a 5-inch reach advantage, so he's going to have tough to combat against that and overcome it. But what he wants to do, he's a boxer striker. But the biggest change in Kealia is the fact that, he's changed totally his mental preparation and his strategy. He's a guy who's very, very focused, very calm. Feels like he's got his life right where it should be and wants to make the most of every opportunity that's presented his way.
His wife, Lisa, his manager, he has recently changed his nickname after getting baptized to God's Champion. He has changed the path of his life, and thus all the students that he has, he wants to give them the opportunity to show them, Paulie, that during downtimes you can get back up and you can get on the right path. And when the coach does it, it's a great way to lead.
Yeah, first of all, you lead by example. That's always a plus when you're looking to preach certain positive messages, and that's one thing he does. But then also, combat is also a great way to gain self-respect and gain self-esteem. I can tell you, even from my own experience as a high school kid who'd been thrown out of high school and was lacking in self-confidence, just didn't know where his life was going. Boxing gave me a lot of self-confidence, so it can be definitely used as a positive way to channel energy in the right direction. And he lives it and he teaches it.
And he's looking to put on a show here tonight as he debuts in the Trigon on this very special night of Trigon Combat, brought to you by BYB Extreme. And he is set to take on the hometown kid, Curtis Millender.
And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, here is Curtis Millender.
Two-time Fight Club OC welterweight champion. Yes, right here where we are tonight. Curtis Millender, 35 years old, a veteran of 29 professional MMA battles, stopped only once in his 9 setbacks. Raised by a single father. He said, my dad, Curtis Sr., is Superman. On his opponent, he said he's tough, but he believes, Paulie, that he lacks the skill set to survive more than 3 rounds with him. What I will say is both Millender and Kaneko come in with a lot of confidence.
Oh yeah, and when you're fighting in a main event, you've earned the right to have that confidence. And then Millender has his own, as Benny was saying at the beginning of the show. What was he? How exactly did he put it? He put it where he said he only does a few things.
Yeah,
but he
3
does
or
them
4 things.
But he does them in such a diverse way that he's unstoppable or something to that degree.
Yeah, no, he says I have 100 different ways to do those 3 or 4 things that I do.
That's all you need. That's the KISS method.
Exactly.
Keep it
I love
simple,
it.
stupid.
I love it.
And if you look at it, some of the best fighters in the world that have that approach. We'll see tonight how it works for Millender.
That's a key in sports, is simplifying it. Make it easy for you to see. And the other thing he says is, my style can work in any situation or any space presented to me. And that's huge.
Yep. The KISS method, that's how I used to call it, Goldie.
Yep.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid. And the way that his coach was slapping around brings me back to Clay Guida and his brother. Every time Clay would get in there, some of the hardest punches Clay took were from his big brother before he stepped into the octagon. Curtis Millender has been in the UFC octagon, defeated Thiago Alves, Max Griffin, and Sayer Bahadurzada during his time at 170 in the UFC. This one, our main event at 185, scheduled for 5 rounds with official introductions. Once again, Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. 5 3-minute rounds in the cruiserweight division under BYB Trigon Combat rules. This bout is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission and is brought to you by BYB Extreme in association with Engelbrecht Promotions and Events. So, Costa Mesa, I need you all to get up out of your seats, raise your drinks high, and get wild! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with black trim, he stands 6 feet 2 inches tall. He weighed in at 185 pounds. He is a veteran of 6 professional MMA contests, but he makes his Trigon Combat debut this evening, fighting out of Scottsdale, Arizona, by way of Puna, Hawaii. Introducing Keali, God's champion, Kaneko. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks with gold trim, he stands 6 feet 2 inches tall. He weighed in at 186 pounds. He is a veteran of 29 professional MMA contests, but tonight he makes his Trigon Combat debut, and he fights out of Yorba Linda, California. He is Mr. Thursday Night, Curtis Millender. Our main event referee in charge, Thomas Taylor.
Come on this side, right here. All right, belt line, come on over, Curtis. Belt line's good on both sides, gentlemen. You got, step back, gentlemen. You guys got my instructions in the back. Protect yourselves at all times, listen to my commands. Touch them up, back to your corner.
Oh, these guys are ready to go. No glove touch from Curtis Millender.
Game face.
Game face indeed. Main event of the evening. Scheduled for 5 3-minute rounds.
He's only courteous after the fight. Before
Yeah,
the fight, there's no
right.
need to be courteous in his mind.
In fact, yeah, Lee had his game face during the weigh-in yesterday.
He did indeed. Here we go. Red wrap for Curtis Millender. Both men in the white trunks, the black trim for the Hawaiian, for the hometown kid. He's got the gold, and man, now you can see the size of both of these men, Benny.
Yeah.
Very imposing frames.
Yeah, and that 5-inch reach advantage that Millender has, he's going to use that. But on the part of Keali, he says, I got quicker hands, so he's going to try to bury the hatchet really, really quickly.
It's able to step in the last couple of times and look to land, Paulie.
What though? That jab from Millender has been really sharp, rolling very nicely on the inside and going back on that jab. Now starting to set up some other shots. Kylie has got to start to adjust with that jab, either by jabbing with Millender or using some feints, using some other forms of deception, making him pay for it, something. Because if Millender starts to get confident with that jab, he's going to be able to set up a lot of things very easily.
And it's impressive with Curtis. I mean, he's 1-0 in boxing. He's 20-9 MMA, 3-2 at UFC. That's a well-rounded guy.
Oh, yeah. Yep. He's been doing it a long time and doing it against fighters at the highest level. And he's done it a lot right here in the hangar. This is 10th fight in the hangar at the OC Fair and Event Center. He said he had another fight on the property in one of the other buildings, so home ice advantage for sure. You know, I'm going with the hockey, of course, guys. Home ice advantage for Curtis. It is the playoffs.
And, you know, there's something to be said for a fighter who's totally loose like Curtis. Whereas you look at Kelly, he's very, very tight.
Yes.
Very fluid.
Kylie is 32 years old. Curtis Millender, 35 years old. Talked about the Hawaiians' time training with Eddie Cha. Eddie Cha's from this part of the world. Moved to Arizona a few years back with Henry Corrales to train there. So Curtis has spent time with Eddie Cha in the past, who now trains his opponent.
Oh, good right hand there by Millender. He's starting to choose his shots very nicely. Also rolling very well. He's starting to be fluid to work off of the defense, not just responsible defensively, but also now trying to transition into offense with some sharp little counters. Making it look easy so far.
And, you know, there's a swelling, Mike, under the left eye of Kiali.
And he switches to the southpaw stance.
I'm sorry, the right eye.
20 seconds on the clock here in round one. This one's scheduled for 5.
Kelly needs to get a little closer, keep those shots a little shorter when he does.
Look at that right eye. It almost looks like it could close.
Yeah.
Tells you something about the power of Curtis Millender.
And the accuracy.
Yes. Main event of the evening. Forthcoming, don't forget, Saturday, May 13th, brawl at Rock Hill. 2 belts on the line. The BYB lightweight title is on the line. Who will pick up that belt? Will it be the Preacher Man, Josh Oxendine, who is 2-0 in the Trigon with 2 finishes, coming off a knockout of the night performance, or his opponent, Mark the Shark Irwin, who is also coming off a great performance, a fight of the night performance. In the co-main event, Josette Cotton defends the BYB Super Welterweight title and Police Gazette Diamond Belt she captured in London, England, against the Red Queen, Jamie Driver. That is Saturday, May 13th. Round 2. Good start for Curtis Millender. White, black, and gold trunks. The Chief, God's champion, Keali'i Kanakoa, going southpaw again here in round number 2.
And when he does, you can see Curtis right with a right hand.
Yeah.
Right down the pipe.
Yeah, right. And sharp uppercuts as well. As Kylie, he's trying to force his way in, so when you end up forcing your way in, you sort of start leaning a little bit. You're susceptible to that uppercut, and that turns him right-handed. Although Millender still likes that uppercut, that right-hand uppercut, even though Kylie now has turned back to the conventional stance. Back on that jab, though. That jab has made things easy. That's Kylie has been hanging around right at that range where it's just comfortable for Millender. So Kylie's got to be either all the way out or all the way in. He can't hang out at this range because, as you can see, it makes Millender's life much easier to be able to select the shots that he wants to.
And Curtis looks very comfortable. Knows his technique is working. Very accurate. Very relaxed here inside the Trigon.
You see Ali there, he had a chance to get in. He walked all the way too close and then smothered himself.
Yeah, that's one thing in the combat sport. Managing that distance is so important, especially where your leverage is going to be, where you're going to have your power.
I'll tell you, man, Millender looks like James Toney in there. Catching, shooting, rolling, firing off those shots.
Busting up the nose of his opponent.
Kylie is confused now. He's kind of retreating back. he's got to catch and shoot there. Good body shot. That might have been a little low. Yeah, and that's going to be a good chance to get a break for Kai Lee. I think he needs it. Kai Lee has to use some of those sharp counters on the inside the way Millender has done to him. You got to be able to fire off the defense. Some of those uppercuts that Millender's landed now seem to have busted up the nose of Kai Lee.
And he had that swelling below the right eye. So you can see it right there, the right eye. And it looked like it was starting to close. I wonder if that's going to start impeding his ability to see the...
Well, Millender's going to try to go right up the middle again.
Yeah,
Still a minute plus on the clock here in round number 2.
Just with the jab alone, he can do a lot of damage in this fight. I mean, he has already, but I mean, this is the kind of fight he can start to really control just with the jab alone and the occasional right hand counter. He just missed it there.
Kanekoa is Hawaiian, so he can go into that just scrap mode if he can survive this onslaught right now from Millender. Looking to pick him apart.
Oh, the shots are coming.
It is all over, just like that. Curtis Millender victorious in our main event of the evening.
Lost his mouthpiece, and that went flying right by me.
Yeah, and you could just see Millender was getting more and more comfortable, raising the volume a little bit more and more, raising the intensity a little more and more as he got more comfortable. And every time he raised the intensity and raised the volume, there was no answer from Kanekoa. And ultimately, that was his undoing, because once he saw he could take it to a high tempo and there was no return, he just let them all fire. And Millender with an easy win, very sharp, looked very good in this fight.
And I thought Curtis was like a surgeon in there.
Yeah.
I mean, a surgeon that knew exactly where the cuts, where the incisions were going to come from, managed that distance beautifully. He had a 5-inch reach advantage. He used it all, and like you said, probably before the fight, he only does 3 or 4 things.
Yeah.
But he does it 100 different ways.
And he did them very, very well tonight.
He says he is going to retire on December 2nd.
Why December 2nd? What is December?
I think he's got a title fight in MMA before then.
Oh, okay. Here he was talking in this replay. And you see again, Kanekoa there, he gets close and then he just smothered himself. There, Millender didn't even do anything. And there was a right hand that you said flew right by you, Benny.
Yeah, that's that mouthpiece that went right by me.
Oh, yeah, the mouthpiece from the right hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kanekoa, I tell you, even the moments Kanekoa got close, he smothered himself. And you look at the difference when Millender's close. When Millender's close, he understands his distance. He understands how to throw his punches short or long, depending on his distance that he is in his range, and knows how to get the maximum damage. Very, very, very impressive.
And I think the way you described it, Benny, very surgical, very precise, was the way that Curtis fought. And he hit Kanekoa with a jab to the nose.
I mean,
and Kalia, he smiled, and then he fired again.
And he's mainly MMA?
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like a good boxer here, man.
Very good.
He had a good sense of footwork, a good sense of distance, which is very, very difficult when you come from a different combat sport to get a sense of the proper distance in boxing. But Millender really, really understood the proper distance in boxing and knew how to change range very, very well and make it advantageous to him.
If you want to do a clinic on how to fight in the clinch, that was it right there. Curtis did it masterfully.
Yep. And he earns the victory in tonight's main event of the evening. To make it official, Big Mo.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Thomas Taylor calls a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 25 seconds of round number 2, declaring your winner by knockout, Mr. Thursday Night, Curtis Millender. All right, Curtis. Now, I don't know which fan said it, but I was walking by and the fan goes, that was not too courteous. That was a shout out. Thanks for helping me do my job. Look, first time in the Trigon, you pushed the pace at times, but you also welcomed the pace at times. What was it like for you in there tonight?
I said it. It doesn't matter how small, how big. I'm always gonna fight at my pace. There's nobody on this planet that can take me out of my pace. If I wanna be rangy, I'll be rangy. If I want you to come in, you can come in, but you're gonna get fucked up for it.
Now you talk about pace. A lot of your pace experiences inside the MMA cage or equivalent, but tonight you were in the Trigon. Nothing else like it in combat sports. Did you enjoy fighting at such a surface?
It was really dope. I enjoyed it. I'm comfortable already, so next time you want to put the gloves on in the Trigon, I'm down.
So we can see you back. Are we gonna put that in writing? Maybe another Trigon appearance for Curtis Millender.
Yes, sir. As long as you guys get back this year.
Now, you have a lot of fans here tonight. You're represented here tonight. You have your own team around you here tonight. You have your family around you here tonight. Anything you want to say to them?
Oh man, I love everybody. I say it all the time. If you've ever supported my career, I appreciate you. If you're giving me a ride, if you're giving me gas money to get to the gym, thank you.
Gas money helps after you put on an exhibition like that. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for your winner. He's Mr. Thursday Night. He's Curtis Millender.
So he's going to stay busy.
You might want to walk away, but you might want to walk